I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Trick Nick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
All right. Good afternoon and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am your host, Manning's Man, and today we have a big one lined up for you this afternoon. We have a reggae girl in the house. Yes, well, a former reggae girl in the house. She is now a big time coach, and she's going to give us some insight into the Jamaica team as they prepare for their World Cup qualifying campaign beginning on Thursday against Bermuda at the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica. The game is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. The players are already here in Jamaica. The coach is here, and I believe they have their first session at some point today. But before we get into that, I want to remind you that when you come on, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share the content. Also, want to say a big thank you to the sponsors of this video. The sponsors are Launch a Legacy, Handle Risk, Seek Legacy. For all your personal insurance needs in Canada and the USA, visit them at launchlegacy.com or call or text 647-989-0782. Also, Prestige Finance, lending a helping hand when you need it most. Call them at 876-884-7390. If you tell them that you heard about them from I Am Sure Sports, here's what will happen. They will lend you up to 100,000 Jamaican dollars, no processing fee, same day processing, 0 to 4% interest rate. All right. And finally, to Trick Nick, the Jamaican owned and operated company in Canada that uses authentic Jamaican herbs and spices to make all their products. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. Again, thank you to everyone in the comment section. Just jump on and let us know that you're here. And then if you have questions for Alicia, then I will certainly have them post to her so she can ask them. So without any further ado, let us welcome our very special guest today, and I Am Sure Sports. Mrs. Alicia, I don't want to call her AKA Wilson Lopez. Is it Oh, she has it in now. Alicia Dread Wilson. Welcome, Coach Wilson. How are you doing today?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Could do with some sleep, but the work and the show has to go on. So we're here putting in the work.
Definitely.
Man. All right, I want to begin again. Welcome and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. Today we really appreciate that. I know you're highly engaged in your team's preparation there and probably many other responsibilities. So we appreciate you taking the time to come and give us your thoughts. But for those in Jamaica who may not know you, may not remember you, can you just briefly just share with them where you're from in Jamaica, your football time in Jamaica, and how did you become the captain of Jamaica and become a big coach in the United States at this time?
First, I want to thank you for having me on your show. And so it's obviously a privilege. And I am originally from Flankers, Montego Bay. So right outside where the Daniel Songsters International Airport is. And so growing up was just playing with, boys and stuff like that. Obviously, at my time, not a lot of organized football was available for girls to play. And so
Not hearing you, Alicia. I think no, we're not hearing it. So maybe if you got like probably a call or something came in, it may cut the feed. So I don't know if that may have happened, but we're not hearing you. So if you want, you can sign out and then sign back in. That's probably the best thing to do. All right, let's see. We're going to try and fix the connection on her side, and then we'll bring her up. So if you're from Montego Bay, you need to come on and support your fellow Montegonian. Yeah, because she's out of Montego Bay, flanker Montego Bay. Yes, that's where it all began, in Montego Bay. All right, so we're gonna sort this out and get her back on to finish up her story. Big up Coach Minzy in the building. How you doing, my brother? All right, I think we have her back now. So we will bring her up shortly so she can continue sharing her story. Here we go. Okay, I think we. All right, so don't worry. We're going to have this sorted out in short order. Hearing from, yes, former Reggae Girl captain. Name is Alicia. They used to call her Dread back in the day. Yes. Wilson. She is the head coach at Navarra College over there in the United States of America. Yes. And doing a good job, making a mark over there. Produce several All-Americans, and she also helps with, and you'll hear this, several Jamaicans attending college there. So maybe you coach female. This is the coach that you want to connect with. If you have a good talent on hand, you probably want to speak to her so she can tell you how to move that talent after high school into the college system in the United States. So you may want to pose your questions to her, see the way that she can help you and help your player in making that transition. All right, so yes. So please just bear with her. You know, we're gonna set this up a couple more minutes and she should be on. Yep. Yeah, so I'm very optimistic about the game on Thursday. I believe that our young ladies are going to impress us and they're also going to win. Yes, I'm looking forward to an impressive performance and a good victory and also some good football. All right, are you ready now?
Yeah, man.
All right. So you were at that. I think you were saying that you're from Flanker in Montego Bay, just
Yes.
outside where the Donald Sangster's International Airport is. That's where the feed broke. So go ahead.
Yeah, so that's where it all started for me. I was actually a netball player. So I played netball for Herbert Morrison. I was, play business house, play senior league, and then was a member of the Jamaica under 21 netball team and all that good stuff. But then I ended up going to GC Foster. And after
Oh,
ending up at GC Foster, I did 2 years there. That's where I actually got onto the national football team. At the time, Bertis Bell was the coach for the women's team at the time. And then he gave me an opportunity. And then, after that, I got a scholarship to come here to the United States to play at William Carey College. And I played there for 4 years. So while I was there, I was traveling back and forth into camp. Christopher Bender coached during my time as well. Vin Blaine coached me, during that time as well. And then I think my last coach was under Meron Garden. The last time was in 2014.
okay. So you never played high school soccer. You played high school netball.
Yes, I played high school netball, did a little track, but it was mostly I was a netball girl at first.
So what made you switch from netball to football?
So it's funny because I am normally a person who reason out things, and as dominant as I was in the sport, I was a goal attack and realized that even when you get to the national level, most times there's not a lot of assistance. So you might travel on a tour with the team and, you come back to Jamaica, but there's no structure in place for advancement or, for you to better yourself at the time. And so I said, well, I'm athletic enough to try out the football thing. And I was playing with boys from a young age. So I said, actually what happened, I was playing with some boys at GC Foster. And they brought in the under 23 women's team there with Bertis Bell. And some of the boys went to him and told him that they have a player that they want him to see. And so he told me to join the camp. And so at the end of the camp, they were going to pick like 24 players. So they had about 34 there. So at the end of the camp, I made the 24. So
that is awesome. That is awesome. And then from there to what position did you play in Jamaica and what position you played in college? And then, Yeah.
So in Jamaica, I started out as a striker because I was very quick. And then under Coach Bender, I played a little midfield, a little attacking mid sometime. But then eventually when I went to college, I was playing center back. And so I realized that that's where I got all of my accolades and recognition. So my next feature in the national team, Christopher Bender used me as at the center back position. And so I just stayed there after that.
Okay, so when in the national team you played at a center back. What are some of the tournaments you represented the national team at?
So in 2002 I went to Victoria in British Columbia in Canada. We played the Olympic qualifiers there. And then again in 2004 we went to the Olympic, was it Olympic or World Cup qualifying? But at that tournament, that was in Costa Rica. At that tournament, you had like Cindy Parlow and Mia Hamm and Brianna Scurry and Karina LeBlanc. So that was when that generation was kind of finishing out with the Mia Hamm, Cindy Parlow, Brianna Scurry group. They were kind of finishing up their careers at the end. So that's when Abby Wambach and Christine Sinclair burst on the scene. They were hot at the time. So that's when, I played there. And then in 2006, I played in California under Vin Blaine when we were trying to go to the World Cup. So we went to the semifinal against Canada over in the Home Depot Center in California. And then the last tournament was in 2014 where we played here in the US. So it was several cities. So it was in Kansas, DC, Philadelphia, and I think one more city. I don't remember, but yeah, that was so about 4 major tournaments, I would say.
Okay, so you won almost everything. All right, so you moved overseas. You won almost everything in your college career there.
Well, except a national championship. So yeah, All-American, region player of the year, conference player of the year, just you name it, academic scholar athlete. So
okay. Someone is asking if you know Betty.
Yes.
Okay.
Betty's from Montego Bay. We used to go up by the they call it dump up by the water
beach
of, KFC. Yes. We used to play some good ball out there, man.
So you used to leave from Flankers, go to Dumper Beach. That's far.
Well, back in the day, it looked far, but now it's nothing. You just take a taxi and you just.
You took a taxi. I thought like you walk down there. I'm thinking that's very far.
Yeah,
to
we
walk.
take a taxi and get in town, and yeah.
Okay, so you finished college. Did you play professionally in the States?
I played semi-pro. So I played with Asheville Splash in North Carolina, and then went on to play for the New Jersey Wildcats. So at the time at the Wildcats, we had several international players that was on that team. So at the time, Tobin Heath was just, coming on the scene. She was part of the team. Karina LeBlanc was part of the team. And then we had some English players, Rachel Yankee and Rachel Unit. So I was probably the only player out of the Caribbean on that squad at the time. And at that time, there was no professional league. So all the professional players were just forming teams to play in the W League at the time.
Okay. Many Jamaican players probably struggle with like leaving Jamaica, going to college without family. How was that? How was the adjustment for you?
The adjustment was obviously challenging because you always want to know that you have other family members in other countries that you're going to, and so to provide that support system. But I guess I was just intrinsically motivated. And so regardless, even if I didn't have it, I find means and ways to be independent. So I would go do refereeing. So I referee at small clubs and, make myself little cash here and there.
Okay.
And then I would work on campus. So I work in the bookstore. And then, just on the summer holidays, rather than coming back home to Jamaica, I go and play on clubs. So that also enhance and keep me fit, enhance my game and keep me fit. So I just find different means to stay active and stay, dominant in what I was doing.
Yeah. And so at what point of your career you decide, listen, man, I need to stop playing this football, but I'm transitioning into coaching because I'm getting younger now and thing, the legs are a little weary kind of a thing. At what point did the dread decide that I'm going to have to change, my role?
So it's funny. I feel like coaching is a calling, it wasn't like a desire, So I was kind of waiting because I know like the professional league, even though it was folded, I was waiting for it to come back for me to have another go. And so around 2007, I said, well, I'm not going to just sit around, and wait for a league to come back, because prior to that, I had played in Iceland. So in 2006 and 2007, I played for Iceland, a team called KR. And so I was waiting for the US Pro League to come back in, but I didn't see any promising signs. So I decided to go ahead and start my family. And so starting my family in 2010, the club in Iceland asked me to come back and play another season for them. So they said, yeah, take your daughter, you could take her. So I went there and played in 2010 with them. And then.
So they didn't say take your husband, they just said take your daughter?
No, my husband had went with me. So my husband is Costa Rican.
Oh, Costa Rica. Okay,
Yes.
that's interesting. I wonder how did you guys manage when Jamaica play Costa Rica?
Hey, the house is all Jamaica.
Interesting.
But yeah. So we met in 2004 up in North Carolina when I first went to play for the Asheville Splash. So when the contract came through to go to Iceland in 2006, he came with me.
Okay.
And so in 2007 as well. So, our daughter was born 2008. And so he was working at the time in Costa Rica. So that's why he didn't go.
Okay.
So I just went to play with my daughter in Iceland. So that's why.
So you need to let him know how it is that in the next round we're going to be meeting Costa Rica, and in the female, and their luck, it won't be the same as in the male qualification. It will be a different kettle of fish when the female come around. Don't know, but maybe you can't just tell him that, I don't know.
Yeah. But he pulls for Jamaica women's anyway. He loved Jamaica women's team.
Okay. But so now you got into coaching. You started in 2007. I mean, learning. But when did you actually take on your first head coaching job, and where was that?
So I started out as a graduate assistant at the University of West Florida from 2005 to 2007. So even though I was playing professionally during that time, I would go away in the summertime and then come back, say around January during the semesters to do my courses. And so after I finished that, when I left Iceland and come back this side, we went to Costa Rica to live. So we were living there from about 2008 to 2012. But I know that prior to me leaving, the head coach at the University of West Florida, he always says, if we ever get a head coach an assistant full-time position, you are going to be the first person we call. So, normally I don't think about that because I thought he was joking. But the position did open up in 2012, and we were living in Costa Rica, and he said, he reached out and he was like, are you willing to move your family and come back to Pensacola, Florida to help, to take the position? And we said, why not? So we moved our family and we went, and we were living in Pensacola at the time. So I was there as the assistant coach. And then after about 2.5, 3 years, my husband said he was ready to go back to Costa Rica.
Okay.
And so here in Navarra, so I'm in Texas now. So here at Navarra, the head coaching job opened up, and my boss, he was like, hey, the head coaching job opened up. You're more than qualified. We think that you need to apply. But in my mind, I didn't want to. And I was like, we're heading back to Costa Rica. We're good. So just by him being in my back, like they said, ticks in somebody's back.
Yes.
Yes. So I went ahead and applied, not thinking anything of it. And so by applying, the people reach out to me, and the athletic director, and they set up interviews and stuff like that, flew me down for the interview and everything. And after the interview, I was heading to the airport. They called me and said they think I'm the person for the job. So that's how I become a head coach.
When was that? What year was that? That
was in 2015.
2000, and that's where you have been up to this point. So this is like 7 years.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes,
All right. Tell us about some of your accomplishments in your 7 years at Navarra College.
So we have quite a bit. First, I normally like to start off with the players because, without no players, you have no team. And so we have been really diverse in our recruitment. So we've had players from Colombia, Ghana, England, Spain, Grenada, Bermuda, Jamaica, of course, Trinidad, Guatemala, Costa Rica. So, and then we have our Texas kids and kids from all over the United States. So we have a very diverse team. And so some of those players, the aim of a junior college is to get those kids into a 4-year university where they can continue to pursue their bachelor's degree and also continue to play. And so they can actually get en route if they want to keep playing into the draft here in the US. And
Junior
so,
colleges are equivalent like to Mobile Community College and like
yes.
right.
So it's
Just
a
for
2-year,
people to
yeah. It's
understand.
like a community college, 2-year college. So
Yeah.
it's the same if you go to a 4-year college, but those first 2 years you used to do your core classes. So you'll do like your math, your English, your history, your science, just basic courses that you would typically do even if you go to a 4-year school. And so that's why they're able to transfer those credits over whenever they're finished. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of the accomplishment, as I said, I coach a player who played in 3 Youth World Cups in Wasila Daiuda. She's from Ghana. She currently is playing for LSU. I coached Denisha Blackwood for 2 years. You guys know Denisha, so
yes.
she's in the squad right now. And so she transitioned on to the University of West Florida, and then from there she went into the draft as well, and then still now representing the country. I also had Chantel Thompson. For those of you who know Chantel, some people know her as Mumzai. She used to play for Jamaica as well. She came to me for 2 years, went to the University of West Florida as well, and then transitioned into William Carey, where she went and won them the national title there.
Oh, that's the same university that you attended.
Yes. So the funny thing is, when they were inducting me into the Hall of Fame at William Carey, they won the national championship. So me and Chantel shared the stage there. So that was
that's awesome. So one of your former players shared the stage when you're being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that was special.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was special. And then I have a player from Trinidad. She's playing for the Trinidad national team right now, Victoria Swift. She's currently playing professionally in Leon, Mexico.
Okay.
Yes, and so she headed back, I think, a few days ago to go join up Trinidad, because I guess all the Kankakov teams are getting ready for the
World Cup qualifiers.
Yes.
And any Bermudians heading back to Bermuda to come and take on Jamaica.
Yes. I actually need to see if she's in the squad. I don't see the list yet, but Alicia Nolan, she's an avid scorer.
Okay.
So she played for me 2 years, and she went to University of North Texas on a full scholarship, and then
what? I need to talk to Coach Blaine.
After she finished, she was playing, I think, 2nd division in England. So I need to touch base with her and see if she's on the squad, but I'm not sure.
Okay, but I mean, sound like Bermuda has some players there, because everybody thinks that Jamaica is going to win. But here it is, you're giving us some scoop. I wonder if our Coach Blaine has spoken to you and asked you these questions to see if he needs to get a scouting report.
Yeah, I don't know if she's in the squad, but Bermuda has come a long way over the years. They might not be like a threat for us, but you don't want to take them lightly. Yeah, she would be. She's a good goal. She's a goal scorer, but again, like internationally, I don't know if she's stayed in shape, what her shape level is, and to be able to cause a threat. But she can kick with both feet. Her and Denisha played together, by the way. So
okay, well, Denisha is not in this squad.
Right.
I don't know because I know there are many players who are not available for these 2 games. I suspect that some are injured. Personal reasons, so a lot of the familiar names are not there. I don't see this, and I don't see Thompson. You said I don't see her name in the squad either. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that she hasn't made the transition or she's one of those who are not available for these particular games. I know some other players are going to be available for the next set of games against Cayman Islands and the Damrep. And then there's a next set that if we finish top of the zone, reach the next round, they become available. So
these camps and international football work is like when you're playing certain group stages of the tournament, you would hope that you have everybody or you have your strong teams, but at the same time you have players who are playing in big clubs, and they don't want to for a game that's not of the caliber or quality that's required for their services. So typically you will use local talent or use players who are available and can come in. So I understand that some players are not going to be available for certain games or certain tournaments.
Yeah. All right. Before final question, before we get into this present Reggae Girls team and all of that, I mean, you're still at Navarra. Do you have any Jamaicans in the ranks now who probably like now that your coach are in the under 17, under 20 teams for Jamaica? I know they're calling up under 17, under 20s. I mean, do you have any Jamaicans now at Navarra that you coach that you can tell us about?
Currently I have Lacey and Murray from Priory St. Anne, and then I have Neville Gale from over Portmore. Neville Gale Abel, she's here with us. She's actually
Okay.
leaving in a few days to join with the U20s that have qualifying, I think, in Dumrep.
Yes.
So she's here. I have another Trini too. She's heading out this Saturday to join her Trinidad under 20 team. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's move to the Jamaica national team, the senior team. How good have we become since 2014 when you stepped away from international football? How good have we become and what are your thoughts on this present group of national players?
Well, I think we have become competitive with some of the top teams in the world, and that tells that we can compete. Um, Obviously, we need to have a little more better structure to fine tune that, but we do have the talent, we have the pool, and yeah, I think that we're a force to be reckoned with, and we're gonna turn some heads. But at the same time, as I said, we have to do our part behind the scene and get them, fine tuning the group and having the chemistry and everything, work in favor for us to produce at that level. Yeah. What was
You
your other
meant,
question?
I mean, what are your thoughts on the present group of players that are in this, in preparation for the campaign?
I like the group. Actually, I was with the group probably a year and a half ago or so down in when they were in the Olympic qualification with coach with
Busby?
here in Texas. Yeah, in Texas. I
Yeah.
was with the group, and I was quite pleased with the progress that we've made as a program in terms of the preparation, in terms of the tactical analysis and breaking down of games and presentation and the professionalism that's presented itself in the group. And so I feel like we've come a long way, but we still, as I say, we still have a lot more to gain and to grow. And so we just have to do that step by step.
Oh, wonderful. And who are some of the players? I mean, Jamaica is predominantly the fan base is towards men football. A lot of us know uh, Bonnie and probably Jody, but who are some of the other players in the squad that you think are, good talents that we should look out for?
I'm not sure who are the ones available, even though they have the list. But I know like the Swabies are solid players.
Yeah.
I know Kanya, but obviously I don't know Kanya if she's gonna be available.
Kanya is going to be out for a while for
Okay.
yeah, personal reasons.
Right.
That's what we spoke to Coach Vin Blaine recently, and he said that it does appear that she's going to be out for most of this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So as I said, you have a lot of you have some of the players who actually was in the campaign to the qualification that are still in the group right now, and so I think that should still give like a base of experience and knowledge and just expertise in taking care of these early qualifying games and getting us to the next round.
Yeah. One of the things that the male team struggled with is that we never had the chemistry and there was always this changing out of players. How important is it for the players to have chemistry now that we have players coming out of the top leagues in England? How important is that moving forward?
That's the thing. So who is the best team in the world? Who's one of the best female teams in the world?
United States.
Yes. And so we have to take a page out of their book. How do they bring their players together? Do they wait 2 weeks before a major tournament, or do they constantly throughout a year target several different playing windows of international games as well as camps that they have in different parts of the country that replicates climate environments to prepare teams for those tournaments. So, and that's what I was saying, like until we kind of push for that next level, like if that's the success we want, and that's the kind of you know, that's the kind of things that we will have to do to get to that next level. Yes. And right now with us, since we're having a lot of overseas base and stuff, how invested are we with our local talent? You know what I mean? Are we constantly having camps to where we're seeing all the players, or we're developing them? We're identifying them, we're developing them, and we have this ongoing. So I heard we have a training center now. I never really got to train there or play there, but are we bringing in different age groups once a month and making sure that we have them for a 3-4 day period where we can actually see them, see that they're continuing development? Are we sending them home with training programs? Because these teams, when you come back in, there's a certain fitness level that you have to have. And if you don't have it, they don't keep you. So you have to have certain standards and responsibility, you know, on the part of the staff as well as on the players. And so some of those things are important as well.
Do you share these thoughts? Do you have an open door where you can share some of these thoughts in terms of the process of development with the stakeholders? You know, probably the coaching staff or other persons connected to female football at the highest level.
Were you talking for Jamaica?
Yes.
Well, me and Vin is awesome. Vin has been one of my coaches, and I think he prior to the girls qualifying for the World Cup, he was the one that got the closest, because obviously we played in a semi-final match to go to the finals or to go to the World Cup, and so he definitely have the resources and the tools, but then you have to have a support system. So even if you have the knowledge and the ideas, if it's not supported by, you know, people involved, especially the major ones in terms of the federation and people behind it, it's not going to succeed. And not just that, you have to have financial means in order to make this thing happen. So it's just everybody coming on board for the greater cause, right?
Yeah. Do you see yourself as someone who could one day coach in Jamaica, probably one of the national teams, maybe a junior team, a senior team? Is that part of your ambition as a coach? Or you just see yourself, listen, I'll continue to work in the States and develop talent. That's me.
Well, as of right now, it's funny because I've had a lot of offers to go to other divisions, higher divisions, and to play and to coach at different levels. But I honestly, normally my life is not about, like, you know, the success in this world, like going after things and stuff like that. Everything for me is based on the plan that God have for me and what doors he open up. And then what has happened throughout my life is when the doors open up, I can't refuse it. So he put me in a position where I have to step into it. And so I seek him each day, and he'll let me know, like, what he wants me to step into. So I'm not the kind to go and then ask him for help. I let him lead me and tell me what he wants me to do. So at the moment, I'm here developing young people to go out into the world and make a difference. And to impact the world, letting them know who Jesus is and that he's our Lord and Savior. And so if Papa lead me into the national team, it's an honor. If he doesn't, it's okay.
It's okay.
You know? Yeah.
How difficult people in Kankakov, we have the United States and Canada, who are probably, one is the number one team in the world, the other one is probably in the top 10. All right, so right there, like, that's 2 spots gone. All right.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult is it to qualify out of Kankakov, seeing that you have the United States and Canada, who are almost automatic qualifiers based on their level and standard?
So the first thing we have to find out is how many spots are available, and I heard that they were going to add more spots, so I'm not sure.
So there are 4.5 spots now.
Okay, that's
So
wonderful.
the four semifinalists qualify, and then the two third place teams from the zone, each zone, will play, and the one that wins will play off against a team from Oceania to get the 5th spot.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think our chances are good. You know, obviously, as you said, U.S. and Canada take 2 of those spots already. Then you have Mexico, who is up and coming threat, just because they have a very good professional league and the support of the fans. They have stands packed with people chanting, so it's getting similar and close to the men's level of professional league in Mexico. Then you have Costa Rica, who have invested in their women's team just from the youth level all the way up to the senior level. And then obviously you have us and Trinidad, who typically fight for a spot, but Trinidad, they haven't been supporting their women's program in the longest few years. So I don't know how strong they'll be coming in. As I said, I think we'll have a good opportunity. Costa Rica, we played recently in a friendly, and it was 0-0. We should have won that game, but I don't think, I think we're right in there with them. Mexico is a team that we need to topple. Obviously, we've played with them before, and not big, some big losses, but the last time when I played with them, we lost 3-1 in that qualifier. But with the team that we have now is far more superior. So I think that we have a really good chance of qualifying. We just have to do it the right way.
So if 2 spots are gone, the Jamaica, you'd say Mexico, Costa Rica, Trinidad are the other 4 teams who are fighting for that other 2.5 spot. I mean, so Mexico, Costa Rica, Trinidad, and Jamaica. All right. What about Haiti? Haiti?
Oh, yes, you have Haiti as well. Their players have been playing in the French league and all over the world as well. You also have Dominican Republic, who has some players who are playing here in the professional league in the US that they've called back for. So a lot of these, they're kind of taking a page out of our book, where they're now contacting associates in Britain and other countries that have players that are playing in top leagues to come back and form their teams too. So yeah, it could be a surprise. You never know. You also have Suriname, Puerto Rico. As I said, you have
those nations have good programs as well. Suriname, Puerto Rico.
Sometimes, and even at one point, I think what was this team? I think it was Suriname. They got some Canadian kids who played college level, and they turned some heads in one tournament we had. And I was like, so as you know, sometimes they don't broadcast what they're doing behind the scene. But I said they have players who, for example, are here in the US or in England or other countries that doesn't represent those countries, that could still represent their parents or grandparents, nation. So you don't underestimate anyone.
That is so true. You just opened my eyes, because the Dominican Republic is in this group, Jamaica, and only one team comes out, which means that you basically have to win all your games.
Yes, and I know Dominica, they're gonna bring their players that play here in the US, because they want to get out of the group. I promise you.
Yeah. I mean, how important is the off the field part of the football to the success of the on the field play?
I would say it's probably the most important, because if you're able to problem solve and operate off the field, then it makes the communication and the play that much more easier on the field, right?
Yeah.
And so if players are also even being mentally sharp in terms of what they got going on, I know in some programs where you have players that they don't want to study, or they don't work, or they're not being productive off the field, it's very difficult for them to come on the field and push for something, or be inspired to work hard, or so sometimes off the field things does affect on the field. Not all the time, but in most cases.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like, I mean, there are so many, especially with female football. It can be it probably is tough with them because you know in terms of administration, arrangements of flight, hotel accommodation, preparation of meals for like a Bonnie Shaw who plays in England versus a Jody Brown who is in university in Florida, like how those dynamics and stuff. And that's what I'm saying, that it is crucial that what happens in terms of the administration and management of the program of the field is critical. So that's why I want to get that feel from you, because you're at a college where you have to have a program for your players, but there has to be a program from the administrative side for Navarra College to be efficient and effective.
It's funny you say that, because if the people who are around a team or a group doesn't understand the importance of what's needed for success, or how it's done, or why it's important, they're not gonna value that, and then it's not gonna be efficient and effective in helping the team to produce, right? So as you said, nutrition. If you don't have somebody who knows what the players' needs are in terms of the balance, in terms of the carbohydrate, the protein, and the fats, or the fuel that they need for their bodies, and what you call the supplements. Because it's funny, when I was in the national program in the earlier years, when we go to these tournaments, we used to wonder why these players were so robust and fast, and they'll go, after one game, you get beat up, and then you have to turn around with 1 or 2 days rest for the next game. And we come to realize, I think was when I went to my last camp in 2014, that they actually start giving us supplements, like joint supplements, and women, 1 a day women multivitamins. And so just not even just regular food can sustain you at the level that you're playing. And then we realize that the US, Canada, and when they have their camps, each player is having like their own bottle of supplements that they're taking to replenish their body. So you get hit or you get beat up, like those supplements help flush out inflammation and have you recover quickly to get back into another game. So I wasn't aware of that until, like, I would say 2013, 14. And then that makes a lot of sense. And as you said, the coordination behind the scene, like, how do you organize the flights? Like, sometimes you can't go cheap. I've heard instances where people who are booking flights, send players all around the world before they get to the location, just because they're trying to save money, rather than seeing the taxing and the difficulty that is going to place on the body and getting them to their location to be ready to compete. So it's having people who are working with the team understand what it takes, and then knowing how to carry those out effectively for it to benefit the team.
Awesome. Great stuff. I mean, we wrapping up very shortly. I want to know, you're taking Jamaican kids over there to give them the opportunity. So now a young lady in Jamaica is listening, a coach is listening. What are some of the things that, you'd say deficiencies you would say you find in the Jamaican players coming into the college system in the States that the coaches in Jamaica need to be aware of, so they can better prepare them for play in the college system, coming out of the high school system in particular in Jamaica?
So obviously, I grew up there and I know, and so a lot of times people see players, and because they can dribble and cut a one shift and bust a salad, they say, "Whoa, they're good enough, a player good enough, make we see what we can do here." And then the broader part of the game is not taught. So like the tactical awareness. This position that I play, what is the responsibility of this position that I say I play? What is the importance of or the benefit of helping it to help the team? For example, if I play center back, what is my role and my responsibility? When we have the ball, when we don't have the ball, what should the shape look like? What should my movement look like? What am I communicating? So it's far more than just being able to dribble and shift or to run down somebody and bust a tackle and stuff like that. So it's much more than that. So I realized Jamaica is having a lot of coaching courses to where they're educating local coaches so they can understand the game and the level that it's played at. And it's not just for male, it's also for female, and the speed of play. And so that's when I'm recruiting, those are the things that I look for. And that's why typically I recruit out of national teams, because normally players at those levels, they can understand, the demand and the pressure sometimes that you have to play under, and then you have to function outside of being homesick, outside of not having your parents nearby, outside of you still have to go to school and do your work, and you still have to come out and perform day in and day out when it's called upon, right?
Okay.
And so what we find that we're lacking sometimes is that drive and desire. Like, they come and they really don't know why they're here. You have to know why you come here and why you're getting this opportunity out of so many other girls around the world. So you don't take those opportunities for granted. Yeah.
So technically we are very good, but the tactical awareness needs to improve. You
Yes.
also mentioned the speed of play. Is it that we play slower, though we are very fast?
Yes.
Or is that we play too fast because
No.
we're so fast?
Yeah, we play. So because we're fast doesn't mean that we play fast. So playing fast or playing quickly is where your mind is. You're 1 or 2 or 3 plays ahead of the game. Does that make sense? So when the ball comes to you, rather than saying, "Oh, I'm gonna just dribble," you can get a one-touch pass, move into space, get it back. So you're 2 or 3 plays ahead. That's where the game's at.
Okay, so what we need to work on is one, tactical awareness. And I like what you said. You don't recruit from like out of high school. You recruit from the national team, because at that level, the players are trained to become more tactically aware.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Then you spoke about the speed of play, which I find it is the same. It is the same argument. These arguments are similar. It's kind of funny to male football and female football. When I talk to people overseas, they always say that we're technically very good, but tactically, we struggle. And also, we play too slow because we get so much time on the ball in Jamaica that when we go into other spaces, you don't have that time, especially if you play in the middle of the park, because
No.
people are, yeah, so you have to think.
You have to think quickly. Yes.
What about?
Huh?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. And so that's the thing. Like, they might ask, how do we do that? How do we get them to play quicker? It's in the training environment. It's in the training environment where you don't let them sit on the ball. They have to play 1 or 2 touches on the ball. And you have to encourage that intensity of play. Because when you get to the next level, you don't have that much time. You're not gonna be able to play. Yeah.
What about discipline? I'm not talking about cussing out your coach, but like the discipline to eat healthy, sleep right, meaning getting proper rest, the right attitude in training. How has your experience been in terms of Jamaican kids, Jamaican young ladies, in comparison to like those you have coached from America and other places, in terms of those disciplines, more off the field discipline and stuff?
So that's the thing. Like, sometimes when I get some of the Jamaican players come here, they think that because I'm Jamaican, I'm gonna allow them to come in late and speak anyhow to the other teammates and behave a certain way, and they learn very quickly that part of success comes with a lot of responsibility and discipline. And so we put those things in place and encourage like a working relationship. So even at my college, even though it's a 2-year college, we operate like in a professional environment, right? So there are rules. For example, you show up late, you're going to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning and come do bear crawls, especially if that's not communicated if you're going to be late before it happened. So certain rules and responsibility, it's on the players. We have team meetings. So anything that's happening in terms of team dynamics, if it's not functioning, we discuss it and we hash it out, as a group, because I told them that when you're in a team setting, you're family. And it's just like your typical family, because everybody if they can look back on their own family, everything don't go well. And you're gonna have riffraff and you're gonna have problems and disagreements and stuff like that, but you work it out. So it's the same things that we teach them here. Like, everybody's coming from such different backgrounds that you're gonna have problems, but it's how we work it out is gonna present the growth that we need and the maturities for you to get to that next level, right?
You know that someone is going to call you at the end of the show and ask you what you mean by riffraff. You know that, right?
Riffs, not riffraff.
No, I know, but I know that somebody in your space is going to say, "What do you mean by riffraff?" I know they're going to ask you. But this is Lee Croft Letman from Cornwall College player out of Montego Bay, says, "Nice seeing you, Dread. It's been a long time. Lot of knowledge with experience."
Yes, big up Lele. Yes, I know who Lele is.
He used to coach because he's a coach as well. I don't know if that would have. But did you play? You didn't play for any of the teams in the women's league, like even the St. James team, while you were at GC Foster? You played for GC Foster in that league?
Yeah, so I played for one team in Mobay. I think they were named Angels, or I don't remember, Montego Bay FC.
Montego Bay Angels, yeah.
So I think I played a few games with them, and then when I went to GC Foster, I went and played for Olympic Gardens. So Michael Peart at Olympic Gardens. I played a few games there just before I come up. So I remember playing some games there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so with Lele now, his wife, we play netball together at Herbert Marcy. Sasha, yes. I played with Sasha, yes.
Okay, all right. You bust out the man business. Yeah. But we have around 2 minutes to go, so I want to give you some time out of that to to thank and big up the persons who are watching, the persons who probably were a part of your journey, and anyone I don't know if you have relatives back here in Jamaica that you want to give a shout out to, or your GC Foster, I don't know, but the floor is yours. Yeah, the space is yours.
If I big up one, I have to start listening from now till tomorrow, man. There's so many people out there, man. I just want them to know that I love them and God has been good, and everything is Irie here, Obviously, big up to Mr. Doyley. He was my netball coach at Herbert Marcy, and he instilled a kind of work ethic in me, man. Like, he pushed us, we were fit and everything like that. So I want to big up Mr. Doyley. He used to be our math teacher. It was my math teacher. Yeah, big up to Tamika Elliott. She was one of the teammates and Herbert Marston as well. Sasha, of course. Sasha Cousins and Miss Pence. It's so many. Oh my gosh, it's so many. I definitely have family living back home. Last time I visited was 2016, but since COVID hit, I haven't come back down yet. I think I came and recruited at the Tarania Clark tournament. That was in January 2020.
Okay.
So I just came for about a brief 3 or 4 days. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I have family there, and Wayne Morgan, as I say, coach, what's his name? Can't remember. I went blank just now. But yeah, all the coaches who coach me, all the players who played with me. It's funny because I was talking to Tamika Elliott last year, and she was like, Dread, say you did different. Because when you do a netball practice, and even if we laugh a little bit, you're serious back right away, like you're not joke, you want to get back to your business. Yeah? So I didn't even realize she was
that's why they call you Dread.
Oh, so the name come about because my father is a Rasta.
Oh.
And so I was the only girl, and I have like 5 or 6 brother man. So then just say, so when I tell them that, they say, no, your name Dread. I dread your name now. If I know what Dread we are calling. Yeah, so they just stick the name on me. And it's funny because I went to GC first, and they tried to change the name and it didn't change. It sticks same way. So yeah.
Right, wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Such a pleasure meeting you and talking with you. Wealth of knowledge and experience. And I hopefully one day we'll see you done in the national colors again, not as a player, but as a coach at some level, but continue to do what you're doing. And all things are possible with God. I thank God that.
Yes. And I wish the reggae girls all the best. I want them to go and take care of business, So I want to wish them a wonderful first part of the tournament and then advancing.
Yeah. And I know at least one of your players. Well, I know both of them, but one I know personally, and they speak highly. They speak highly of you. You're no nonsense, and but they speak highly of you. So you're doing a good job, and I've heard a lot of good reports. So keep on doing what you're doing. Make Flanker proud. Make Jamaica proud. And then most importantly, your family, because at the end it's that. And then, like you said, the Heavenly Father also, it looks down and smiles, and one day he will stop and say, well done, good and faithful servant.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, bless up. And thank you for having me, all right?
Yeah, man, most definitely. Enjoy the rest of your day and be
You
safe.
too. All right, yeah, man.
Shalom.
Take it easy. Walk good.
Yeah, shalom. Yeah. All right, there you have it, people. 1 hour we spent with Alicia Wilson. Former national captain, also head coach at Navarra College, doing a great work, sharing her insight, and wishing the Reggae girls all the best. An accomplished career she has had. Great story, right? We're doing this because we want to continue to highlight female football as we give our young ladies our full support heading into this World Cup campaign. We believe in them, and we believe that this time around, when they qualify, they will not be just there to make up numbers, but they will, get out of their zone and move into the round of 16, and hopefully, let's believe, for the quarterfinals. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this show. We really appreciate you coming on, being here with us, sharing space and sharing time. As usual, we ask you to hit the like button, subscribe to the platform, and if you have not yet shared the content, please make sure you do so. Let someone else know what we're doing here at I Am Sure Sports. I am Management. I want to thank you and thank our sponsors, Launch Legacy, Prestige Finance, and Tricknick. Enjoy the rest of your day. Live good, walk good, be safe until we meet again. We leave you with a word from Trick.
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Tricknick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?